Start the thing back. Start the thing back. What did you do? Oh. The other thing is that make sure you look at the right part of the page and stuff. Thanks, Word. I didn't bring up Word, but Word's right.
It only gets to be right once a year, so.
Half time? Half time? I'm gonna. Half time? I'm gonna check to see if we got anybody out there. About that. Might as well. Let's be happy with everybody that's here. You're a great crowd. Okay?
I'd like to welcome all the future band members up in the balcony.
We're going to be very relaxed.
I hope so.
Very good. All right, let's start. Okay, Derek?
All right.
Not quite. There we go. Welcome to this performance of the 1st Brigade Band. Our motto is making history live. We use restored and the sounds of the times. When combined with letters and diaries, we can reach out to a modern audience to tell our nation's story. The result is a remarkable journey through the pages of history. It is March 4th, 1931. This is the date that is usually set aside every 4 years for a presidential inauguration. For example, Abraham Lincoln was inaugurated on March 4th, 1861. But this March day was different, yet just as impactful, if not more so, than any presidential inauguration might be. On this day, a sitting president, Herbert Hoover, would sign a law whereby the United States of America would finally have a national anthem of its own. The path taken by this remarkable composition could perhaps be described as complicated. It was the result of not just a composer, but many who made contributions to it that made it what it is today. The work of Mr. Francis Scott Key, known today as the Star-Spangled Banner, first appeared in 1814 as the defense of Fort McHenry. Today it stands as our proud anthem. However, most Americans either do not know or are not aware that when they sing it, they are only dealing with 1/4 of the complete composition. The text is American, but the melody is English. Ironically, the journey of this song did not start with the War of 1812. This song celebrated our nation's victory in its first foreign war. In 1805, the United States won a fight against the brutal pirate kingdom operating out of Tripoli in Libya. Thanks to the new U.S. Navy and a handful of U.S. Marines, Their tyrannical practice of taking our peaceful trading ships on the high seas and enslaving their crews was forever ended. A poem was commissioned to celebrate our great victory and was set to a melody we borrowed from our English cousins, the Anacreonic Song. This was a melody composed by John Stafford, aristocratic musicians. When performed at the White House for President Thomas Jefferson, it was titled, "To Neptune." Went, "To Neptune enthroned as he governed the sea, from my high favored land I dispatched a petition that he its protector and patron would be. When this charter arrived without let or condition, navigation and trade, no more be afraid. The ocean is yours and I'll lend you my aid. Besides, I'll instruct you, like me, to entwine the fruits of fair commerce round liberty's shrine." Of all of our founding fathers, Jefferson was a real musician, very proficient in playing the violin. While he appreciated the meaning of the text, he was less than enthusiastic about the tune. To quote Mr. Jefferson, "The melody is poorly constructed and lacks musical value. I think this will be the last of it. We can presume it will never be heard from again." While we revere and admire the words and achievements of Mr. Jefferson, I think you will agree that perhaps he could have been mistaken about this tune. Please stand or be seated as you wish for this 1832 version of the Star Spangled Banner. To honor this year's semi-quincentennial, let's go right to the beginning, the American Revolution. When our nation began, we had no music of our own, so we borrowed from our English cousins. That's right, the very people with whom we just fought a war. We start with Yankee Doodle. Designed to be a musical insult to the provincial colonists, the Patriots turned the tables on their foes and made this tune a symbol of the American independence. On October 19, 1781, General Lord Cornwallis surrendered his 8,000-man army to the combined forces of France and the United States. The French army lined up on one side and the American army on the other. The British were then to parade in column down the middle and lay down their arms. As they did so, they chose to look only at the French, refusing to face the Americans. On hand that day was one of Washington's most trusted lieutenants, the young nobleman from France, Marquis de Lafayette. He was infuriated at this blatant insult. Spurring his horse to the nearest fife corps, he thundered for all to hear, "Play the Yankee Doodle!" Sensing the moment, they didn't just play the tune, they thundered it. Suddenly, thousands of redcoats turned to the Americans to see what was happening. Now, they properly faced their conquerors as they threw down their arms and surrendered their colors. With a simple act of musical defiance, Yankee Doodle became not only the victory song of the Revolution, but became the first tune to be enshrined in the hearts of the new American nation. 80 years later, this tune remained a staple of every band book in the country. American music is now ready to take center stage. By 1860, the evolution of the American brass band took the country by storm. Now, here to explain the tools of our trade is our curator, Paul Schmidt. Paul will provide insight into this amazing, one-of-a-kind collection.
Thank you, Ms. Kate. I hope you can all hear me in the back. Very good. So the band you see before you is unusual, and I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why it is unusual. First off, it's what we call an E-flat brass band, which just means that the melody is most often carried by players playing E-flat pitched instruments instead of B-flat pitched instruments, which is more common with modern bands. Another reason it sounds different is because of the type of brass instrument we have here. The entire band, except for woodwinds and percussion, is made up of a kind of brass instrument, which is it's pretty much obsolete today. It's called the sax horn family. It's named after Adolph Sax, who invented the saxophone, so he's more famous for that. But if you were in the mid-1800s and you had a brass band, it was a band made up exclusively of sax horns. That was just the thing. So we do the same thing as military band of the period. Now, these come in alternating sizes, just like saxophones, if you're familiar with those. The smallest ones we have are E-flat sopranos, or E-flat cornets, same thing. Then we go to this side, B-flat and E-flat cornets, and then to this side for B-flat cornets. So these are more like the ones we have in modern bands, except for their shape in some cases. Back to that side, E-flat altos. And then to this side, we have a double. We have B-flat tenors and B-flat baritones. Then we go back to that side for our lowest brass instrument, the E-flat basses, which look a lot like tubas, but they're actually much smaller than tubas. Then we have our piccolo and our clarinet. These are made out of wood, and they use a funky fingering system that nobody else uses these days. And then we have our battery percussion, starting with snare drums, rope tension calfskin heads, tightened less than modern instruments. They have more of a rumble. The same thing for the bass drum, and then a set of cymbals. Now to talk about the shapes of the instruments, they were pretty much done experimenting by this point, but they had instruments that fit the purpose. So they still have instruments with bell pointing forward, like modern trumpets, bell fronts, please. And then they had ones that you see more like in large instruments in today's bands, tubas and euphoniums and things, the bell up instruments. But they came in all sizes, including E-flat cornets. We just don't have the smallest ones here today. Then we have the cavalry instruments, so the horse-mounted bands. They were helical, and they made them all the way down to little E-flat cornets and B-flat cornets, and altos that are too small to be worn around the player's body like the big ones, but still, they kept up the shape. The guy on the horse could hold the reins of the horse with one hand and play the valves with the other hand. And then the kind that's most associated with the Civil War, the over-the-shoulder kind of instrument, predominantly used by the Union Army bands. And this is because the troops were marching everywhere and they wanted to have music to march to, and you put the band in front of them instead of behind the troops, and you need the sound to go backwards, because you don't want the sound going forwards, because that's where the enemy is waiting with guns ready to shoot you at about a mile. So that's why they're that shape. Now, we like to demonstrate an instrument at this point in each concert, pick somebody and make them stand up and do something.
At random.
And this time we're going to pick on our E-flat alto player, Andrea Burdick, who's going to play the solo Hope Told a Flattering Tale.
And I'm ready to face you with my not so great side because the sound needs to go back.
Gotcha. Okay, in that case, we're going to do this.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. I'm even going to make it a little bit more different. This side.
I'm just along for the ride.
I have a question. Back here.
Certainly.
Okay, back in the day, would they have a drummer, a guy who drums to keep everybody in step for the military?
Hopefully.
And then back
Ideally.
today, if you go and watch a big American band, when they're going to get on the football field, they do the same identical thing. They have one person that's playing the drums, and they keep everybody in step. That I do know for a fact, they watched a lot of that. But that, I'm done.
Thank you, Darcy.
You're welcome. But thank you for putting up there for me.
You know.
That was a wow.
Who is in the audience? For a band from a town that most folks had never heard about, a national audience seemed to be an unimaginable goal. All they really wanted to do was just play for the home folks. By 1858, this Wisconsin ensemble, barely a year old and largely self-taught, had made impressive progress for such a short time. Yet in that year, they were suddenly thrust into the pages of history. The next 8 years, you would find them performing for a most impressive audience. Current U.S. presidents, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, and Ulysses S. Grant. A future First Lady, Julia Dent Grant. Presidential cabinet members, Edwin M. Stanton. Members of Congress, Stephen Douglas. And an impressive array of Army generals who engineered the Union victory. During this time, they would wear 3 hats: as the Broadhead Brass Band, the 3rd Wisconsin Regimental Band, and finally as the 1st Brigade Band. Today, we want to peel back the curtain on just a few of these historic personalities with what we call Who Heard the Music? We now present Red, White, and Blue. Our first audience of distinction finds us on a sweltering August day in 1858. The place is Freeport, Illinois. The ensemble is from Broadhead, Wisconsin. Among those listening was Abraham Lincoln. In the not-too-distant future, he would be joined by 2 other presidents who would hear these musicians, Andrew Johnson and U.S. Grant. For this audience of distinction, we now hear Hail to the Chief. Julia Dent Grant was the wife of the 18th President of the United States, Ulysses S. Grant, and was First Lady from 1869 to 1877. She also heard the band in Galena. In her honor, we dedicate this next selection, Polonaise Medley, When the Swallows Homeward Fly and the Last Rose of Summer. Edwin Oscar Kimberly, cornet player and future band leader, composed our next selection as a dedication piece to the commander of the 3rd Wisconsin Infantry. It was premiered for Colonel Hamilton in Camp Pinckney, Maryland on July 22, 1861. Here is Hamilton's Badger Boys.
We're going to give our guys a chance to come down.
Pure gin.
I wish. I feel like I'm in camp already. Perfect.
Choreography. That's today's choreography.
I'm right all over.
We're Hamilton's Badger Boys, and hither we've come from woody Wisconsin, our dearly loved home, to fight for the Union, to conquer or die, and to raise in the full land our wild battle cry. March away, 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 all hearts pounding high. March away, 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 all hearts pounding high. For Hamilton's Badger Boys must conquer all or die. For Hamilton's Badger Boys must conquer or die. We've left our loved kindred in far prairie land and come forth to battle, a strong-hearted band. We could never remain in our homes afar when honor and country called us to war. March away, 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 all hearts pounding high. March away, 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 all hearts pounding high. For Hamilton's Badger Boys must conquer all their high. For Hamilton's Badger Boys must conquer Our governor equipped us and told us to go and flail out the Union's most treacherous foe, to pound them right hard on God's threshing floor, and not to return till rebellion was over. March away, 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 all hearts pounding high. March away, 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 all hearts pounding high.
gave him an extra long note at the end. Very, very good.
Our next dedication goes to a pair of Union generals, General Dan Sickles and Franz Sigel. Sickles was a corps commander at Gettysburg when on the second day of the battle, he fell victim to a cannonball that mangled his right leg. He survived and continued to serve through the end of the war. Franz Sigel was a former Prussian officer as well as a teacher, newspaperman, politician, and Union Army general. His ability to attract German immigrant recruits in the Army was highly prized. As members of our audience of historic personalities, we present 1st Regiment Quick Step from the Germania Band. Includes another music notable. Daniel Butterfield, composer of Taps, was among those who heard the musicians from Broadhead. We respectfully offer this next selection as a fitting tribute to a man of music who brought his plaintive bugle sounds to float over the souls lost in conflict. To honor the composer of Taps, we bring you Near the Lake. sang long time ago.
Mingled were our hearts forever, long time ago. Can I now forget her? Never. No, one lost one, no. To her grave these tears are given, ever to flow. She's the star I missed from heaven, long time ago.
Henry Hunt was Chief of Artillery in the Army of the Potomac. Considered by his contemporaries the greatest artillery tactician and strategist of the war, he was a master of the science of gunnery and rewrote the manual on the organization and use of artillery in early modern armies. His courage and tactics affected the outcome of some of the most significant battles in the war. He was among the many officers serenaded by the band in January of 1865. Our selection for General Hunt is a rare one indeed. One of the very few instrumental-only selections by the famous Stephen Foster. We can only assume that as Chief of Artillery, he got a bang out of their performance. Santa Anna's Retreat from Buena Vista. Known as the Christian general because of his deep religious piety, Oliver Otis Howard frequently had the 1st Brigade Band play for his Sunday worship services in the field. A favorite of his was our next selection, penned by Felix Mendelssohn, Come Ye Disconsolate. Winfield Scott Hancock. Hancock the Superb was noted in particular for his personal leadership at the Battle of Gettysburg in 1863. He was known as the Thunderbolt of the Army of the Potomac. The vigor of this next selection is reflective of his energetic leadership on the battlefield. Here is Captain Blood's Quick Step.
Sometimes it gets close up here. And it's nice to see people watching me so intently. So, if I could, I'd like to give recognition to a few people. In the first part of our show, which is, the most historical natured one that we have together tied in with a sequence, which is written, by the way, the same gentleman that wrote it this morning, Mr. Ed Pierce. I'm amazed at how much he gets done. It's just remarkable, very talented. And then obviously our narrators. Please, Miss Kate, and over here, take a look at Miss Carrie. Thank you very much. And then our vocalist, Dan, up on top, who also happens to be the person that transcribed Near the Lake for us. So he did the music for us, for the whole band. Thank you, Dan. And Carrie sing along, obviously. That was really good. And then we had our interesting Hamilton's Badger Boys.
Boys.
Those Hamilton Badger Boys have a tendency to take control of everything around me, so they did very well too. That was Ward over here and Phil up there, and again with Dan. So thank you, gentlemen. That's great. Now I'm going to do something I normally do for a lot of people, change the program a little bit. And the band, we're going to cut out and go right directly to the next tune, National QS.
Hey, what about these ladies back here?
We have ladies all over the place. Well, yeah, they're part of our group too. You'll see them in a bit. So I am very, very pleased to tell you that this next section is kind of a little bit looser in nature. It's not as historical, but you're going to hear some stories that wind up telling you about the music that you'll hear as well. So we're going to go on with this with Miss Kate.
Are we doing national quick stuff? Are you just
Yep,
going to
we're
start
gonna-
that?
We're going to do National QS and then Miss Kate.
There we go.
Yep. And I'll break the bandmaster and just turn the page. That's right. Thank you for watching. And there's a no break. Okay. All right.
Now, by the 1860s, the publication and sale of piano music for your parlor piano, everybody had one, was big business. And we want to offer you a sample of that right now. The band members would go home, listen to their parlor piano, decide they wanted to transcribe that music into a band arrangement, much like Dan did for Near the Lake. And so the piece we're going to offer you today is called Sweet Love of Mine. Now we're going to call Miss Carrie back to the mic to solo again, but she's bringing someone with her, her own true love, Mr. Tim.
Sweet love of mine, my soul and thine are linked by hidden chains.
My life with thine will intertwine, while life itself remains.
The roses rare that scent the air in winter fade away, but joy or care with thee I'll share. My heart is thine alway. But joy or care with thee I'll share. My heart is thine alway.
Sweet love of mine, my soul did pine in loneliness unblessed.
This love of thine on me did shine, and brought me peace and rest. The swallow flies to kinder skies when early fades the day. My summer lies within thine eyes. My heart is thine alway. My summer lies within thine eyes, my heart is thine alway. My heart is thine alway.
We're pretty sure that it's illegal in Wisconsin to play a band concert and not play a polka. But it also gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit about our Harvest Ball that we hold every year. This year, the ball is going to be held Saturday, October 17th, starting at 7 o'clock. And this year, we're going back to Memorial Hall in Racine with dance lessons starting at 6:15. And if you have any further questions about attending the ball, then you can talk to our costume ladies back there. They can give you more answers. Now, dancers, both ladies and gentlemen, were issued a dance card that had a list of all the scheduled dances for the evening. The card was a convenience not only to display a handy agenda of the dances, but which was used to record the names of partners to whom one had committed each dance. It was considered bad form to promise a dance to a partner and then renege for any reason other than a medical emergency such as the vapors. Please note that the next tune on your dance card is the Slumber Polka.
I dare you to sleep. 1, 2, ready.
We'll fact check that polka law thing a little later. We're going to talk now about Badger hymns and battle hymns. The Battle Hymn of the Republic is usually attributed to Julia Ward Howe, but as is typical, there is much more to the story. Rising from the swamps of South Carolina came a folk tune that captured the hearts of all who listened. It first appeared in the late 1850s as Canaan's Happy Shore, a spirited revival tune. "Oh, brothers, will you meet me on Canaan's happy shore?" And the chorus went, "There we'll shout and give him glory, there we'll shout and give him glory, there we'll shout and give him glory, for glory is his own." Now, by 1859, it was known simply as Glory Hallelujah. Here is how Francis Maria Scala, leader of the United States Marine Band, arranged it that year for White House concerts, perfectly capturing the essence of this camp meeting revival tune.
Just to let you in on a secret, this piece is so well written, if you listen carefully, you'll hear every section in the band soloed. Every different instrument will get soloed. So if you listen careful, it's handed all over the group.
Now we turn the calendar to 1861. Southern rebellion had broken out, and all over the North, men are swarming to enlist. In the ranks of the 2nd Massachusetts, there is a jovial Scotsman named John Brown. It was indeed a coincidence that he had the same name as the martyr of Harper's Ferry. His fellow soldiers mocked and teased him for always being late for morning drill, and it went something like this. "Come, old fellow, you ought to be at it if you're going to help us free the slaves." Or, "This can't be John Brown. Why, John Brown is dead." And then someone would add in a solemn tone, "Yes, yes, poor old John Brown is dead. His body lies moldering in the grave." The men began to set the taunts to music, including the tune, "Glory, Hallelujah." John Brown's body lies a-moldering in the grave. His soul's marching on. Or, he's gone to be a soldier in the army of the Lord. His soul is marching on. The tune has now been picked up as another marching tune for the troops. The men continue to sing this and added coarse and irreverent words, most that would be unrepeatable in mixed company, especially here. Here, adapted from the 25th Massachusetts Regiment Band, is part of that tune. It is interesting to note that it held no particular importance and was simply squeezed into the band books as the number 37 and a half quick step and battle hymn. Enter a Badger State influence. On November 18, 1861, famed abolitionist Julia Ward Howe, accompanied by the Reverend James Freeman Clark, attended a military review just outside of Washington. This included men from the Badger State. From their carriage, these two witnessed the mighty 6th Wisconsin Infantry returning to camp. In the ranks was John Tickner, a soldier known for his great vocal talents. His strong singing voice floated over the ranks, trumpeting forth John Brown's body. Soon the whole regiment joined their beloved comrade to sing. What they sang was hardly ennobling. The men used a great deal of coarse and foul language. In her diary, Julia Ward Howe wrote the following: "I was disgusted hearing this. I turned to the Reverend and said, 'There really ought to be better words on the men's lips for their battle hymn.' To wit, he replied, 'Why don't you do something about it?'" The next morning, she awoke and was seized with an inspired vision of a mighty text. She did not hold back on her abolitionist zeal. "I have seen him in the watchfires of 100 circling camps. They have builded him an altar in the evening dews and damps. I can read his righteous sentence by the dim and flaring lamps. His day is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah, his truth is marching on. I have read a fiery gospel written burnished rows of steel. As he deal with my contemners, so will you my grace shall deal. Let the hero born of woman crush the serpent with his heel, since God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah, his truth is marching on." The adoption of the Emancipation Proclamation also gave new life to the old John Brown words. At last, the little tune that began in faraway South Carolina had come full circle to become the anthem of a free people. It would be forever identified with John Brown, the abolitionist, and Abraham Lincoln, the great emancipator. Alas, few today remember the jovial Scotsman of the same name.
I think I got up too soon. He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet. Our God is marching on. Everybody. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Nice job.
William T. Sherman served under General Ulysses S. Grant in 1862 and 1863 during the campaigns that led to the fall of Vicksburg and culminated with the routing of the Confederate armies in the state of Tennessee. In 1864, Sherman succeeded Grant as the Union commander in the Western theater of the war. He proceeded to lead his troops to capture the city of Atlanta, a success that contributed to the re-election of President Abraham Lincoln. His march through Georgia and the Carolinas further undermined the Confederacy's ability to continue fighting. He accepted the surrender of all the Confederate armies in the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida in April of 1865. He heard the band a number of times in North Carolina and in Washington, D.C. We proudly present the theme song for his greatest victory, Marching Through Georgia.
Take your seats. That concludes our program, but since we're here in Beloit and I don't have far to go, if you have any questions or would like to see these instruments up close, we really invite you to take a look at all of these antique instruments and only some of the players. Okay? We're happy to be here again. Thank you for sponsoring us, River of Life Church, and all the people that helped out. We are the other Beloit Patriotic Concert, if you've seen that around town. We also, support them as well. The Courthawks were at the same exact time, but they got to start inside, didn't have to go outside, inside, outside, inside. So I'm just appreciative for everybody getting here. I think we made the right choice. Woo! That's the timing.